Hi, Capricorn. This is your astrology reading for January 2020. I do apologize that I'm getting these readings out late, but the holidays and everything else, and just one thing after another, and now we're here. So, with that being said, this is for all Capricorn signs, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And I always try to make sure that I'm coming out and saying if you're like Venus Capricorn, then this would be energy speaking to you about your sensitivities more than love. Because I don't see Venus as love. I see Spirit, I'm sorry, I just snorted. Spirit just, as I was saying, Venus and Capricorn, for somebody, this is important for them to understand morals brings success and understanding true hopes of goals. For whoever that was. Now, I always say Venus is your sensitivities, whether they're positive or negative, and how you're going to take that in your life. But if you're a Capricorn sign and this is a Sun Capricorn, then I'm speaking to you more of the core of who and what you are. And if you're a Moon Capricorn, then I'm getting more into your emotional depths. And if you're a Rising Capricorn, then we're talking about the houses being exactly what I'm speaking about. But otherwise, it would be core and emotions or sensitivity is what we're touching base on right here. But like I said, for whoever it is in Venus, I'm specifically being told that the success comes through morals of those goals and hopes and dreams. Sticking to your guns of your morals. For whatever reason, I'm being told to re-go over that. And there's wisdom in that knowledge is what Spirit is telling me. For the rest of you, what I'm being given is, this is, I would say, for astrology, the way I'm being given it from Spirit would be, I guess this would be depending on how well you are on your path, because what I'm being given is teaching of reincarnation. So either you are very well developed on your path as a Capricorn and you're coming into the shape shifting of that reincarnation and teaching it, or it's being taught to you at this time because maybe you haven't evolved high enough on that spiritual level, and this is a time for you to grow and mature into that in one form or another. It's either you're teaching it yourself through experiences and through life, or you're being taught it and understanding what reincarnation truthfully on a soulful level is about, as well as shape shifting to make that happen. But for some reason, what was coming out is shape up, like ship into shape, like being shipped into shape is what's coming out. For some of you, that's definitely saying that you're receiving the teaching. You're being taught it. But like I said, for others, this is saying that you're already in that position and you're really going through the shape shifting of that reincarnation itself, as well as leading others in that understanding. They're also giving me communication of security, or security, speaking communication and speaking security within that shape shifting. Getting into the depths of the true child from within, which brings in that inner emotional security. Sacral chakra. The sacral chakra that helps you find the wisdom to create the strength of the power of the solar plexus. Healing karmic debts by coming into self-realization. Is there anything else? coming into understanding the higher mind and the authority of that higher mind, which is your higher self and self-realization. Overcoming some grief, sorrow, shame, and blame within relationships that have held on to hidden self. And a lot of this is going to deal with your community, is what I'm being told. Community, larger groups, friends, goals, dreams, ambitions, which is going to help bring out that self-realization. Like I said, for some of you, you're being taught it, and some of you are already on the path well enough to where you understand it, but the shape-shifting of the reincarnation is actually teaching others. Setting social boundaries and foundations. Strengthening them. And letting go of gossip. Gossip's no good. Gossip leads to, that self-bad talk. Or helps teach that self-bad talk. Is what I'm being told. Being responsible for setting the example. Or learning the example so that you can be a good setter of the example. This is all about transformational healing. All right, this is pretty much what I'm getting from Spirit. With that being said, as I jump into the actual astrology, this is definitely all about conversations, communication, phone calls, gossip, delivery systems, emails, how you communicate properly for that shape-shifting and reincarnation. Are we done? Self-realization. The communication is to help you with your inner communication of your self-realization and what actions need to be taken in the actual physical world to bring that into fruition, is what I'm being told. And only you can be responsible for yourself and taking that action or not. Anything else? Trust within your intuition, trust your inner higher knowing about what actions it is that you're supposed to be taking, and take them. Do that. Don't sit there and ponder on it. Actually do it. Is that it? Again, actually do it. Don't doubt it. Or doubt yourself, especially in larger groups. There might be larger groups, friends, memberships that make you question yourself, and they're saying don't listen to that. I think that's the gossip shit that they were talking about. Don't listen to that. Trust in yourself and know that this is a fertility. This is a rebirthing. This is a rite of passage. Anything else? Your creative expression has a lot to do with that communication with yourself and your self-realization as you're growing at this time. Now, it is still Capricorn season, so happy birthday until the 20th when it becomes Aquarius season. With that being said, let's jump into the astrology. I'm going to skip houses that are empty, because there's nothing going on there. There's no placements of there's okay. There's no placements of spiritual change, is what they just said to me, in the areas where there is no planets. So that just means you're in your normal energy. But where the planets are, there's actually communication going on, which is shifting and doing that shape-shifting energy. With that being said, like I said, I'm going to skip the houses that are empty. But first, let me just run down the list of the changes. Mars obviously already moved into Sagittarius on the 3rd. That's your 12th house. Now you have the full moon and the lunar eclipse taking place on the 10th. And also Uranus is going direct on the 10th, the same day as that lunar eclipse. You have Venus, and it will be entering Pisces on the 13th. Mercury enters Aquarius on the 16th. You have Pallas entering Capricorn on the 18th. You have the sun entering Aquarius on the 20th. Then we have the new moon, which is recapping those eclipses, because the first eclipse was a solar eclipse in Capricorn on December 26. Then you have an opposition of it. You have the lunar eclipse on the 10th with Uranus going direct, and Cancer going in your opposition, going completely across the sky from you, and then coming back for the new moon, recapping everything that you've learned or not learned, come to that new moon on the 24th in your sign in Capricorn. Ceres will be sitting in the cusp of Capricorn and Aquarius come the 30th and the 31st, because it's going to take it a little bit of time to move out and into Aquarius. With that being said, let me pull up my information here. You all know you have a shit ton of stuff going on in your first house. So this is your first house and your second house kind of coming together, even though the energies are starting to move into Aquarius. Mercury will be moving into Aquarius on the 16th. The sun will be moving in on the 20th, making it Aquarius season. But for you, that's your self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, where your liberation is created and found. But your first house is your self-awareness, your personality, your appearance, your identification, your view, your image, how you're seen from the rest of the world. And you got like bases loaded here. So this is helping you find liberation and identification of true self-realization. Okay? You have the sun illuminating everything for you about yourself and trying to help you shine that light on yourself, especially in areas that you're probably not wanting to see. And I don't mean like that's a negative thing. This is like overcoming your denial or lack of self-belief, lack of self-value. And it's starting to show you that you're worthy, and that you're capable, and that you're aware of being able to be this energy that you are, and to actually incorporate it, believe in it, and trust in it, and bring it into your awareness, and know that it's part of who and what you are. Claim it in that very power and energy. The sun is helping you illuminate parts of yourself that you may not have believed in. Okay, and you have Pluto and Saturn coming pretty much on top of each other over and over again. And this time being, this is setting proper rules, walls, and boundaries for the outer world so that you can be very successful in trusting in your inner security, in the security of who and what you are, feeling strong and firm and powerful in your power, and reclaiming all of that liberty, all of that self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, and bringing that back to you by reincarnation of self, by letting go of the things that you didn't believe that you were that worthy of. And you're starting to find that you were. And then in that, being able to set rules, walls, and boundaries. Mercury is here in overdrive and communication until the 16th, when it moves into Aquarius. But then it's still just moving into your self-worth, self-value, and self-esteem. So it's still kind of in overdrive. And this is making you stand in your power, stand up for what you believe in, This is also helping you with your money. This is helping you bring value and worth to yourself in all areas, from money to self-esteem. Being able to speak what needs to be spoken verbally to yourself as well as to others, so that the changes have to be made. And then the world starts to see you in a new identification, a new image. And this is just strengthening your very core itself. Like I said, and then after the 16th, the 16th Mercury, and then the sun moves in on the 20th to, your second house. And this is just influencing that even more, taking more chances to believe in yourself, on a higher spiritual, soulful level of no longer doubting yourself or your spirit. And this is bringing you even more power in that shape-shifting energy and trusting in it, as well as being able to help show others how to trust within themselves. So this is the whole month taking place from you, even though it's moving into Aquarius. It seems like it's just doubling down and becoming even more powerful. Now, your third house is the communication zone, and this is where Venus is going to be taking place. Venus is going to be moving in on the 13th, right after that eclipse, but is moving in, coming closer to Neptune. This is teaching you how to communicate in a new, healthy way. And Venus is going to be helping structure if it's a new, healthy way or if it's the same old, because Venus is going to be telling your inner magic of how you communicate this, as well as communicate to yourself, and that self-belief of if you're going down the same old road over and over again and that communication's kind of going nowhere or not serving you well, because Venus is going to be going, I just kicked you in the ass again because you're not communicating properly, whether it's listening or actually you speaking. Because communication goes both ways. Sometimes it has everything to do with you shutting up and listening at the same time. Venus, coming closer to Neptune, is going to bring extra sensitivity into how that communication is done. So whether it's working for you or against you, and it will be showing you exactly where it's working for you or against you and what you need to do in honesty of how to make your communication with yourself and the world around you. But what they're saying is your self-value and your self-worth. That communication with yourself, you'll start to be also understanding that because of what Venus will sensitize. All right, now your fourth house is your inner emotional security. It's the home. It's the vessel's home that speaks to you of your inner child, your personal foundations, and getting right with those foundations, bringing back that inner emotional security. So the karmic lessons are met, learned, and the reincarnation is created. And this is where Chiron is. And Chiron's going to be here for a very long time, working on you on your inner emotional security. This is saying, in Aries, this is a good time for a new beginning, a new belief, a new trust in your inner emotional security. But with Aries, you give up quickly. Aries wants what it wants, and it wants it right now. And if it doesn't get it, then it's like, okay, well, fine, now let's go on to something else. And this is begging you not to give up on yourself during this, I don't know, next at least 5 years. Do not give up on yourself. Keep giving yourself that self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. Keep building that liberation, that trust, that soulful commitment to self. And within that, it's going to strengthen your inner emotional security, shapeshift, and reincarnate you into who and what you've always been, but what you didn't believe you could be. So this is definitely a powerhouse time for you. But like I said, Chiron's going to be there for many years, helping you to understand where you have created that self-doubt, that self-deception, and help you correct it by understanding not to give up on yourself. Now, Your 5th house is where Uranus is going to go direct. This is your inner creative expression. This is also where your inner child finds its fun, finds its play, finds its creativity. This is why it's called your inner creative expression. Your child wants to have fun. Your child wants to enjoy life. But this is also the pursuit of pleasure. This is where your personal interests become important. And if you're not finding enjoyment in life because you're putting too much energy into everything else, then this is telling you where you're doing it wrong. Again, this is about taking time to love you, express you, build your inner emotional security, your liberation, your value, by trusting in what is important to you, your pursuit of pleasure, what makes you tick, what makes you smile, what makes you excited, what makes you want to play the game of life. And this is asking you to connect with that energy. Connect with your own independence, your own inventive nature, your own individuality, and find freedom in being yourself by being yourself and trusting in that. This is a very powerful and a glorious time for you, actually. Now, there's nothing in the 6th house, but in your 7th house is where you have the eclipse taking place. This is your partners, your relationships, and any and everything you care about, you have a relationship with, from your children to your parents to your spouses and lovers to your working environment. Anything you care about, there's a relationship with. You have the North Node going on here in Cancer, nesting in this energy, trying to teach you how to nurture these relationships into healthy existence. But they're also going to be showing you where these relationships are absolutely going against you, because it's an opposition of your very self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, appearance, self-awareness, your inner emotional security. So if these relationships that are in your life, these partnerships, are not supporting you finding your true goals and ambitions and dreams and self-realization and self-beliefs, and trusting you, helping you trust yourself to grow and mature into the glorious, beautiful thing that you are, then they're the wrong freaking relationships. It's that simple, because these relationships are all about strengthening that and nurturing you. And if it's neglecting you and going against you, it's telling you got the wrong people in your life. And this is telling you which ones you should be having versus which ones you need to cut the cords on. Very simple. Because come the time you have that new moon in Capricorn, coming back into your liberation, your awareness, your appearance, your image, your inner emotional security, if these relationships are still ones that are negative, are not helping you grow and bloom and mature, then they're going to be showing you just where you're going down the wrong path and you're about to create the same cycle again. Otherwise, they're showing you where there's new growth, new maturity coming in, new spirituality coming in. And that's the goal that you're after here, is making sure that this solar eclipse sets you in, the solar and lunar eclipses set you in with the right people for you to help you shape shift into your reincarnation and into your birth. And what that is going to bring you, because if you're still in opposition of what this energy is about, all the way come June, you're going to get a big smack in the face showing you where these people should definitely not be here, if you're not already seeing it come the end of the month of this new moon. But this is telling you how to create a new cycle, not a reincarnating of the same cycle over and over again. This is strengthening you again. Now, you have also in your 10th house, you have is Libra. Yeah, your 10th house is your honor, your reputation, your prestige, your social foundations, your financial success, your authority and responsibilities of that very honor and reputation and what it is you're creating. You have Ura here, which is asking you to commit to this right now. Commit to this, because Libra is balance. It's justice and balance, and trying to find it by usually showing you where it's not. But for you at this time, it also has the collective consciousness here. Is bringing that collective consciousness into that honor, reputation, prestige, financial success, social foundations, all based on if you're finding liberation for that reincarnation. If you're being supported in maturing into your inner emotional security and trusting it, stepping outside of your comfort zone and creating it in that shape-shifting energy of stepping into a new level of self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, which ultimately brings it back to your appearance. This is asking you to commit to yourself and the reputation, the image you wish to put out there so that you can create the proper social foundations. And then you have the 12th house. It's your subconscious energies. For you, that's Sagittarius. Mars is here. And until the 15th, you have Pallas here, trying to help you strategically heal the grief, sorrow, shame, and blame that's kept you from believing in yourself. Mars is here helping you learn how to take action. Reignite your fires. Believe in yourself. Lift above your unconscious mind, above your hidden self, above your secrets, your sorrow, your shame, your blame, your grief, your skeletons in the closet. This is asking you to free yourself from the chains that kept you from the reincarnation. And you get Mars at this moment giving you the power to finally come into that fire and take action to do so. So this is a powerhouse time for you. The only thing is are you being taught it? Or are you opening up enough to also receive the teaching and give it by setting the proper examples? I love you guys. Bye.